Okay, we are back. This is part 2 of the special category of bullies, the stranger bully. And so we were talking about the best method of engagement is not to engage a bully on the street or in public. And part 1 explains the reasons why it is best to just walk away. If you are safe and you're not being physically threatened, you don't feel at risk of him attacking you, he's just calling you names, or maybe he's turned around and walked away, just walk away. Don't engage, okay? This is the advice of even world champion kickboxers and fighters. In public, if they can walk away, they will walk away, because the risks are too high and the reward is zero. They don't get any, they fight for money, right? This is not a money situation. They fight professionals. This is an amateur that they could hurt badly and maybe even kill. And the legal exposure to a lawsuit or to a criminal filing is huge, so they don't do it. Okay? So here are your allies, okay? You have an ally in the police, but you have to have evidence. When you call the police, you better have evidence. So my advice is this. The guy cuts me off. I have a dash cam in my car, so it's constantly recording. This guy cut me off. It's recording every part. So if I come out to talk to him about a fender bender and he gets violent, it doesn't have audio because it's in the front of my car, but you can see who hit who first, okay? So I have evidence to show the police of who started this fight and who was reasonable and who was aggressive, okay? The same in public. If I'm in the Taco Bell and the guy cuts in front of me and now he's being aggressive, I want to whip out my phone. I want to turn on the recording and I just want to record him. And he's going to say, "What, are you recording me?" Yes, I am recording you. I want evidence that he hit me first. Okay? I also want evidence that I was not escalating by saying, "No, your mother. No, you're the loser." I'm not escalating. I'm being reasonable. I'm talking calmly. Because police and possibly judges are going to see this video and determine whether you are at fault or not. So whip out the camera and take the recording and say, "Hey, and what is the camera for? If you don't like being recorded, don't say anything that you are not going to be proud of tomorrow." Okay? That's what the camera is there for, to make sure that you don't assault me. That's what the camera is there for. If you assault me, I want evidence of it. Okay? That's what the camera is there for. You are acting in a hostile manner. I feel threatened. That's why I took out the camera and started the recording. So that if law enforcement's involved, I want them to see that you are attacking me. If you're not attacking me, then let's go on our way, and I will go this way and you go that way, and we're done. But if you are going to hit me, I want evidence of it. So this is how we get evidence. Dash cam and your cell phone, okay? Sometimes in a big public place, 5 cell phones are going to be whipped out, okay? Because people want to film it and then put it on Reddit, right? So another thing you want to record, if it's a traffic type or a parking lot conflict or a road rage conflict, you want to get the person's license plate number, okay? So you get their face, you get the license plate number, and then you come back and make sure you're safe, okay? Because if he punches you or attacks you and then leaves, you got the license plate number, okay? Get the license plate number clearly, because this isn't CSI Miami where you could just enhance and there's the license plate. If you get a blurry plate, you may not be able to find the guy later, okay? So police will not, police are an ally only if you have convincing evidence of a crime. They're not there as a justice or to a fair is fair. They're only thinking of, was a law broken or not? If the law was broken, who did it? Do we have enough evidence to prove this in court? That's why you have video evidence, okay? Okay, so other allies besides the police. If I call the police, which I've never done in my whole life, I've never done it, you know, I've never called the police because I just never, it's the last resort, okay? It's the absolute last resort. But here's better alternatives if you can, if the situation allows it. Store security. So, at Taco Bell, when that guy cut in front of me, I could have also walked to the front, to the counter and said, I would like to speak to a manager. And the manager, what? This guy cut in front of me. I'm waiting. So you have the option to talk to security. If someone's threatening you at Walmart, you can talk to security and say, that dude right there over by the milk, he's starting fights with people. If you are in Planet Fitness and the guy is reserving 10 machines and not letting anyone use it, you can go to the desk, the front desk, and say, hey, there's a guy over there breaking the rules. Okay? So use that ally, because now the conflict is not with you. It's with Planet Fitness. It's with Walmart. They know how to handle it. They are actually trained in engaging with these difficult people. Also, the phone call from them, as a business owner, calling for police help, has more weight than you calling over a personal beef with a guy, okay? So use that ally, okay, when applicable, okay? We already said, keep your distance. When someone's talking to you aggressively, the stupidest thing you could do is put your chin out and your hands back. This is not a good boxing stance. Okay? Your chin is tucked, so you can't get knocked out. Okay? And distance, minimum 6 feet distance. The farther the better, because the farther the better means you feel less threatened and he feels less threatened. If you're in his face, he may be thinking the same thing thinking you're going to attack him. So give you both a lot of distance, 10 feet, 15 feet, space. We're trying to de-escalate. What is your goal here? Is your goal to fight? Is your goal to prove that it was your parking spot? Is your goal something other than the only goal you should be? The only goal you should have is to de-escalate and shrink this problem into nothing, so you can go about your day without any risk. That's your goal, okay? Any other goal is foolish, okay? Win the argument, get the parking space, I'm right, you're wrong. That's all ego bruise, okay? And it's foolish, okay? So, keep your distance, okay? Record the incident. Don't hide your phone. Show it. Say, okay, that was my parking spot. Why did you think you could take it? Right? But remember this, that he's already in the parking spot, right? Or the guy who cut in front of me at Taco Bell, he's already ordered his food. I can't undo that. I can't make him take his car out and park somewhere else. I don't have that authority. He already placed his order at Taco Bell. I don't have the authority to undo his order and then put mine first. So the things I'm requesting are unrealistic. They're unreasonable. The best thing I could do is de-escalate and just record if you feel unsafe, and otherwise just walk away. Okay? Keep your cool and avoid de-escalation. Avoid escalation. We're going to de-escalate this problem. Okay? So that's the advice I give you when confronting a stranger. Okay? In my state, this is an open carry state. Okay? And what that means is this. I see a guy with a Confederate flag on his car, right? I look in, he drives by me. I look in the who's driving? That dude looks 70 years old. And he looks just like a Confederate, the type of, ugly beard, and he looks like a troll that crawled out of a rock, okay? He looks uneducated, nasty, and a total loser. But I can tell you one thing about him. He definitely has a gun. I promise you, he has a gun. He's probably carrying it with him. That's why he feels safe to fly a flag, a very controversial and very racist flag. He feels confident because he has a gun and he's carrying it legally. And so remember that, okay? Remember that the people you are engaging in the city, in public, at the burger joint, at the Walmart, they could have weapons and guns, and it could get ugly real fast, okay? So, I assume that everyone in my neighborhood has a gun because it takes like 20 minutes for the police to arrive because we live in the farm area. So all my neighbors, my next door neighbor, he claims, I haven't seen all of them, but I hear his practice his guns. He claims that he has 60 guns. So, and if you confront him on the street, how do you know he doesn't have one on him? Okay, you could get shot and killed. So don't confront these people. Don't engage them. Okay, so I want to end this with one last thing. I mentioned briefly alcohol and how terrible it is on judgment, and how much more likely you are to get in an ugly conflict, a physical fight, when you've been drinking. Okay, so they have bouncers in clubs, right? They have a bouncer in a bar and a club. Do they have bouncers at Walmart or at the hair salon? No, because they don't serve alcohol, right? Alcohol makes people feel like, oh, you want to fight? They make people braver, and they make men think that they are better fighters than they could possibly be. Okay? So it's a fool's drug because it makes you do foolish things like get in fight with someone when you're not in any, you can barely stand up, but you're fighting? That's stupid. You could barely stand up, but now you're going to drive your car, drunk driving? Stupid, right? Yeah, alcohol does that. Alcohol gives you courage, but it takes all your fighting ability. Even if you're a good fighter sober, you won't be a good fighter drunk. Okay? So, alcohol increases the likelihood of a conflict. When I go to a public event, like I love to go to concerts, and some of the wilder concerts, Insane Clown Posse, Snoop Dogg, things like that. I go to these concerts, I wear my steel toe boots, I wear a thicker jacket than this, because if I do, I'm not going there expecting conflict. I'm saying, what if some drunk tries harassing me or my wife, right? Right? I have to be ready to defend myself. But here's the secret. By me preparing and being ready, the drunk are going to look at me and he looks like he can handle himself. And the way you talk in this manner that I'm saying, de-escalating, and we're teaching you how to not run from conflict. But these conflicts in public, again, they offer high risk and no reward. So we're going to avoid them if at all possible, okay? Okay, so the most likely places where you're going to get in a fist fight are what? Well, I subscribe to a sub called Fight Porn on Reddit. So it's videos of street fights. So guess where street fights happen the most? Okay, nightclubs, bars, okay? They happen. Now, those videos don't get taken inside the club. Usually they're outside because the lighting in the club is so bad. How would you even film a video in there? Also, most people who want to fight, we want to take it outside. It is wise, take it outside because, that's the way things are done. If someone, ask yourself this question right now. You're in a club and someone hits on your girl right in front of you. Say, hey, you want to dance? And you're standing right there. How are you going to handle it? Me? My advice would be no, she doesn't want to dance. She's with me. If he continues, I'm going to grab my girl and we're going to move. We're going to create distance with the bully. If he pursues me, that's the definition of being aggressive. We tried to get out of the way and he came to continue to harass us. Now I'm whipping out my camera and I'm saying, hey, we're trying to get away from you. Could you please give us space? We don't want any trouble with you. When you say that, if you didn't take no self-defense, 99% of street fights, the first punch is going to be the right hand, the heavy right hand, okay? So that heavy right hand, you can almost see it for the amateur fighter. He's balling it up and he's getting ready. He's getting ready to give you a home run swing of the right fist. So what do? You take your left hand and you say, hey, I don't want no trouble. See how it's up like this? So if he tries to swing that wide right, I'm blocking. Hey, I don't want no trouble. But guess what? My right hand's open, okay? So, hey, I don't want no trouble, right? That's how you want to do it. Some professional fighters and self-defense experts, they'll go like this. Hey, I don't want no trouble. That's even better, I think, because now I could come in, right? I could come in and I can block. I'm over, hey, I don't want no trouble. See that? So that is a universal sign, hey, that's how you, but I can't teach you self-defense because I got 10 seconds on a video on bullies. What I can say to you is if you don't know how to fight or defend yourself, you need to go to a self-defense class. And your goal is not to have more fights, but to actually have less losses, okay? You're going to learn how to sidestep fights and how to avoid them. You got nothing to prove. If you are a black belt in, karate, you've already proven that you know how to fight. So why do you want to prove with just a random stranger on the street? You're not proving, you're proving that you have less self-control. If I was your dojo sensei, I'd take your black belt from you if you got in a street fight that you could have avoided because you didn't learn you didn't learn the wisdom of letting it go when when it's to your benefit, okay? So, yes, you take your self-defense class and try to avoid conflicts, if at all possible, in public. If you go somewhere that is a high risk for a conflict, like an outdoor music festival where they're serving alcohol, a bar, a nightclub. How about a political protest, okay? Where you know if you go to an anti-abortion rally and there's abortion people there who are pro-abortion, you know that there's a chance that they could get in your face, Jesus and Jesus, and you could get in their face, okay? Then be ready. Be ready. But still the same rules apply. If at all possible, you're going to walk away. If you can't walk away, I hope that you know how to defend yourself. If I was going to one of those hostile political protests, I'd bring some bear mace, okay, just in case I need it, right? Bear mace is crazy because it's super strong and it's legal, but make sure you have a recording, otherwise you assaulted someone with bear mace, okay? So you have your recording, you say, hey, I'm asking you to give me space, and they say no, they're still in your face. All right, it's your last chance. And now the fight's over, right? So I highly recommend the pepper spray because it's a non-lethal tool, and you're only going to use that with good judgment. Alcohol gives you bad judgment. So I think we've covered everything about the stranger as a bully. That I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot more Karens and a lot more social stress and unrest, and a lot more conflicts, a lot more violent people. It's normal now to see a video on social media of a guy, his hamburger, he ordered a cheeseburger and it came with no cheese, and he take the cheeseburger and throw it at the worker. So, yeah, the society is under pressure to be aggressive and violent. You have to be artful and practice extremely good judgment to avoid these hot issues, these hot situations where the potential to get arrested or to get hurt or hurt someone is high. Okay, I wish you the best of luck and good luck.